Yo, Bandidos, what up? It's your boy Tux here. Today, I'm showcasing you a tank build in the Division 2 that lets you laugh at death. This thing turns you into a brick wall. Enemies can't break you down, and you'll be soaking up damage like it's a joke. Trust me, with this setup, you're tankier than a tank on steroids. And don't stress, it's super easy to put together. I'll walk you through every step, no sweat. Stick around because by the end, you'll be the toughest agent out there and the team hero. Let's do this.
Wait, did we just become best friends? So nice to meet you, I think you're cool.
Piece of shit wristwatch.
This build might seem like that trusty tank setup the pros lean on for the toughest stuff in the Division 2. You know, the one that's been clutch forever, but hold up because the new season modifiers just juiced it up like crazy, giving it a wild edge over the old school version. It's loaded, so those yellow bar jerks hit like nothing. 100% hazard protection, making you immune to disruption and all that mess. Especially annoying when a warhound pops right next to you. Yep. And there's even explosive resistance, so you can shrug off those booms. Plus, it's got unreal healing and, more importantly, infinite shields. So even if your shield does break, which is possible, but trust me, after a lot of work by the entire battalion of the White Tusk, you can get it back instantly. So you're right back in the game. This is the team build that puts you in the spotlight as the hero, and everybody's got to have this in their loadouts this season. I'm not usually a tank build guy, but this thing was super fun to run in Legendary. Let's take a quick break to walk you through the build. If you already have a Foundry tank build, then yours might look fairly similar to this, and there won't be much you need to change. But let's start with the key piece. It's your Bulwark shield. This is a tier 6 shield. It has over 25 million in health, making it pretty hard to break, but it can break. And so you need something to support your shield, because believe it or not, 25 million in health is still not enough for the White Tusk. We're running the Artificer Hive that's going to give a periodic boost of repair to that shield. You can't solely rely on this to regenerate your shield because it's just not enough on the most difficult content in the game. In order to get that Artificer Hive, you're going to need to make sure you run Technician. It's really important that you run the Liberty, not the Mosquito, because you need to continue to drive heals to that shield if you want to be in the game forever. The Liberty works like this. Hits grant 2% weapon damage, stacks up to 30 times. Headshots consume all stacks, repairing your shield for 3% per stack. 3% of 25 million, right? And this is a key piece to a never die tank build. You need to constantly be regenerating your shield if you want to take all the damage that the enemy can give. Okay, let's get into the core of the build. Foundry, you need 4 pieces. I'm running the chest piece. So this is gonna give you total armor regen, shield health, and then makeshift repairs is what it's all about. So whenever you or your shield take damage, 25% of that amount is repaired to both over 10 seconds. So you're healing and your shield heals, whether you take damage or your shield takes damage. So you're constantly healing. And then improvised materials increases makeshift repairs from 25% to 35%. So more heals per second. And then you want, of course, maximum armor on everything and a little bit of explosive resistance and a little bit of protection from elites. You don't want to overload on both of those because there's an equation here to get an immunity to all hazards. You're going to be immune to every single hazard in the game. You want to be careful how much you load up of everything on the build. So explosive resistance on the chest. The gloves have armor and hazard protection. The knees have armor and hazard protection. The holster has explosive resistance. So I have 2 explosive resistance on the build. I wish I had 3, but I just didn't have the perfect backpack. So this is Hela Guard. It gives you more total armor. That easy. Hazard protection, armor regen, and another protection from elites. So we now have 2 protection from elites on the build. And then you want adrenaline rush because you're going to be in the face of enemies and this constantly refreshes. And it's a lot of bonus armor. Totally worth it. And a lot of this is to protect you from the splash damage from explosions. It's going to kick in even when a drone is near. And it's also going to help protect your backside. Now that armor regen I wish was explosive resistance. If you can get that in there, do so. And I didn't cap this hazard protection because I didn't need to. All right, the mask is technically optional, sort of. This is giving you heals and weapon damage as you take damage. If you put repair skills, it's going to give more power to your Artificer Hive. So go with whatever you prefer. Vicious Cycle. Taking damage builds stacks to a cap of 30. Each stack grants 15% weapon damage. Taking damage at max stacks triggers a purge, removing all stacks and status effects. And then drop in a healing cloud, which restores 5% of max armor for 10 seconds to all allies in the cloud. And let me tell you, because of how this thing plays, it's constantly cycling and it's constantly purging. So you're standing in a cloud of green and you're farting all over the place and leaving heals everywhere. So let's look at the base stats here. So we're at 2.1 million in armor, or let's just call it 70% hazard protection. Well, how did I get there? Some of it's because of those rolls I showed you on the build, a little bit from the watch, but a big chunk of that is coming from the modifier. Hazard protection is increased by 7.5% for each stamina tier. We have 4 stamina tiers. So right there is 30% hazard protection. And then when we get to tier 5 in stamina, we're gonna get 5% protection from elites per blue core while at tier 5 in stamina. And then all we need to do is kill 3 enemies to get to tier 5. That's 3 blue marked enemies. Well, how are we gonna do that? Because we're not killers. Assists count. So it's gonna take a lot more assists to get that extra tier, but it happens. So when you see the blue core guys, just put a couple of hits on them to make sure you get some assistance credit. But you don't have to worry about this too much. And then this final one is sort of up to you, but I took a tier day. For each tier and any attribute, gain 10% total health. Tech link, yup, tech link, which is all about skills, skill efficiency. When you activate this, your electronics attribute is set to tier 5. Check this out. For the duration of the ability, you gain 10% skill efficiency for every non-yellow core equipped. So that's 10%. We got 6 blue cores, so that's 60% skill efficiency. Yeah, that goes to the shield, that goes to the artificer hive. Powerful. All of your attributes are frozen and bonuses are multiplied by 4. You got firearm crits, you got bonus armor for every 300,000 damage you take, and you're gonna be at tier 4. So that's 10% bonus armor for every 300,000 damage we take. Clutch. All passive modifier values are multiplied by 2. That 30% hazard protection becomes 60, and that's gonna drive us to 100% hazard protection. The 60% total health turns to 120% total health. This would potentially get you to the cap, which would be 80% if we were at max tiers, which isn't going to happen too often. So the duration for the buffs are 25 seconds, and then it goes to cooldown for 60 seconds. Using your active modifier is all about timing. The main reason why I'm running Tech Link is because I want that instant reset to all my cooldowns. So if my shield breaks, I'm usually standing out there in the middle of nowhere. So I like to make sure my Tech Link is available, so if it does break, then I can use it and get right back in the fight. It's literally instant. The other way you can go is Security Link. That's gonna allow you to get to that 5th tier on your armor every 60 seconds, but then if your shield breaks, you're gonna have to stand by until the cooldown goes away. But this also gives you unlimited armor kits. So if you ran something like Firewall, then you can play into those really amazing armor kits, or you can run Survivalist and heal your team with your armor kits too. But you're too busy out there using your shield to take aggro. In my opinion, Tech Link is the way to go because a bulwark build is all about the shield.
Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm Tuxedo Bandido, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on the good stuff I have coming for you. And if you like content like this, be sure to check out the video I have recommended for you right here. If you have anything you would like me to cover, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make things possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be the same without you.
When you buy a game from Ubisoft, enter the creator code Tuxedo Bandido to support the channel. Easy peasy.
Wait, did we just become best friends?